Welcome to the Private Practice Survival Guide podcast with your host, Brandon Seigel. I'm a published author, speaker, entrepreneur, and private practice strategist dedicated to transforming the way that healthcare functions. This podcast is all about empowering you to create the change you want to see. Let's dive in. Welcome back. In this quick tip episode, we're talking about why management sucks. Yep, you heard me right. Why management sucks. And I know you're like, Brandon, that's like pretty strong. Now, you could see this topic from two different perspectives. One is, why does the management team suck? And the other is, why does being in management suck? What we're really talking about is why our managers suck. And I know I keep saying that word a lot, but I think they do. I mean, there's statistics out there that the number one reason why someone leaves their job is because of management. And so when we're looking at this, I think it's really crucial to define why management is failing in private practice. And so here are some examples of why management fails. I think many managers enter roles for financial gain. They're not genuinely interested in leading. And so private practices are promoting high-performing staff to management without assessing their desire or aptitude for managing people. And I'm going to say it in this way. Let's say we're going to go outside of healthcare for a moment. And let's say that I own a Honda car dealership, okay? And I've got a sales rep. And we're going to call this sales rep Ralph. And Ralph sells more cars than anyone else. He is the top salesperson every single month. And Ralph is selling per capita sometimes double what the next leading sales rep is. So then we get it in our mind and we say, hey, Ralph is such a good sales rep. If we made Ralph a sales director, then everyone would be able to sell like Ralph. Because you think what Ralph has as a skill set can be magically placed on everyone under Ralph. So then we put Ralph, we go, Ralph, you're such a sales guy. We love you, all this stuff. We're going to make you a sales director. You're going to be over all the sales guys. Well, now you're going to usually miss out on all of Ralph's sales skills. Ralph's going to be managing a bunch of sales reps that are underperforming. And Ralph might be a great sales rep, but there's nothing that we've learned so far that says Ralph can motivate employees, Ralph can hold employees accountable. And my statement is if Ralph is a great salesperson and everyone below him is dramatically underperforming, wouldn't Ralph have been able to uplift other people? Like there's a certain secret sauce that Ralph has. And I just feel like we placed our best sales rep in a role to be responsible for underperformers. And I don't think talent always contributes to managing others' talent. I'm going to say that again. Just because you're talented at something doesn't mean you can bring out that talent in others. So I find that's a big mistake. Another issue that I see why management often fails is because there's a lack of training. And it exasperates the issue. So Ralph, we just threw him in. We're like, Ralph knows how to sell, so Ralph must be able to teach them to sell. And guess what? We're not going to train Ralph how to manage because all Ralph's going to do is let his sales skills rub off on Johnny, Jamie, and Jonah. Sorry, no, doesn't work that way. So private practices rarely invest in management training and management and evaluation and management practice before they give that manager the job. What if every manager who wanted to be a manager had to accomplish 12 months of a high production and management function for no more pay and leadership, where they actually had to put in 10 extra hours as an exempt salaried role at the same rate to earn the ability to become a manager? Well, and a lot of you will say, well, Brandon, I can't find people for this role. So what you're doing is you're taking your most critical roles and you're pushing people into it because they don't really want it, because the reality is it's a hard role. So we're putting non-managers in management roles and we're not training them and we're paying them more and we're losing what they were good at before. So I come back to Ralph. I lost all of Ralph's secret sauce. It's kind of like taking a chef and making him, I'll be honest with you, a waiter. Why would I take a chef and make them a waiter? Well, they can sell the food better than anyone else, Brandon, because they made it. No, let them make the food. Find someone else to be that. So, lack of training. The next is misalignment of priorities. And I see this a lot. So, managers focused on profit over people may neglect employee development or client satisfaction. We're creating a toxic culture, high turnover, declining practice reputation. So Ralph comes in and says, hey, that's a waste of, don't spend time on that person. They're not going to buy your car. I'm telling you, go over here. And all of a sudden, Ralph's writing all these sales reps on everything they're doing wrong, and they're upset. There's a misalignment of priorities. And now we've got toxic culture chaos. So it's really important for us to recognize that we need to define a skill set of management totally separate than a skill set of the function they manage. So the occupational therapist is a different skill set than the manager who manages the occupational therapist. So it's interesting because I always say it this way. I can outmanage most occupational therapist managers. So let me manage OT, PT, speech, you name it. I can manage them 100 times better. You're like, but you're not a clinician. I go, yeah, because to manage people, I don't need to be a clinician. I am a good enough manager that I can understand enough to manage those people. Now, when it comes to clinical decision-making, then I can have clinical specialists that manage the clinical decision-making. That is different. They're not managing people. They're managing decisions related to clinical behavior. Totally different. So I always say that a love for management, meaning wanting to be a manager, is like a love for horror films. Literally. So when someone loves management, that they want to be a manager, it's like them saying, I love horror films. Now, I'm sure you know there are people that love horror films, but it's polarizing. I think management's polarizing. Horror movies are polarizing. If I asked my wife to sit down and watch a horror movie with me, she would probably say she's going to get a divorce. I hope not, but that's how much she dislikes horror movies. January 28th through the 31st, 2026, Coral Gables, Florida. Your business is on the track. Are you ready to hit top speed? The Growth Code Conference is your pit stop for 4 days of proven strategies, precision leadership tools, and a tuned-up growth plan. Leave the slow lane behind and accelerate toward your best season yet. Register now at growthcodeconference.com. So I bring this to you because you need to make sure you find people that are the management lovers, the horror movie lovers, that they understand that the polarizing piece of what they're doing. Some thrive on the intensity and unpredictability. You need to find those that do that. So that's solving conflicts, navigating crises, while others find it stressful and draining. So I go to a manager and I say, if every day I say, I hate you, you pay me, you blah, 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 you have to enjoy that barrier, that challenge. Kind of like, I know this might sound weird, but psychologists enjoy helping people who dramatically are unhappy. Am I wrong? That's a very special skill set. A play therapist and a psychologist are two different people. that want to do two different things. Management is its own thing. So, example, a manager who enjoys resolving team disputes is like a horror fan who loves jump scares. Both embrace the challenge. It's not easy, but it can be rewarding, honestly. And managing well requires resilience, requires emotional intelligence, it requires problem solving, and it really just appreciates the challenge. It's kind of like that horror film. Why do you like the horror film? I like to feel scared. I like to be caught off guard. I like to emotionally have my stomach turned in knots. That is a joy. Honestly, if you like to be a manager, you have to like that as well. You have to like the challenge. You have to like that you're going to confront tough things. You're going to like that you have to be the bad guy sometimes. You're going to like that you have your stomach turned in knots every time something goes wrong. There has to be a desire for that. Kind of like jumping out of a plane. There's a thrill seeker when you love being a manager. And the rewards include building a cohesive team, improving practice outcomes, and obviously personal and professional growth. So the key difference is this: horror movies are optional. Management is a responsibility. Poor managers who dislike the role can't opt out without impacting the team, unlike choosing not to watch a scary movie. So the bottom line is, make sure you're attracting those thrill seekers that want to be the manager, that enjoy the challenges and what's scary in the day-to-day function, and they embrace it. So here are some strategies for finding managers who don't suck. 1, prioritize passion for leadership over the financial motives. During hiring, I want you to ask why they want to manage, what excites them, what are they willing to do, even if they are not liked. Look for answers emphasizing mentorship, team growth, problem solving over salary or status. Assess their emotional intelligence and interpersonal skills. I think it's crucial. Use behavioral interview questions, role play. Invest in training and development. Create a culture that values management, where the team wants to be coached. So I use this analogy of this. When I am hiring a manager and when I'm hiring an employee, I showcase it in this way. The manager is a personal trainer. If you wanted to get fit and they're feeding you marshmallows while you do push-ups, are you going to reach your goal? No. The best managers know how to execute tough love, accountability, flexibility, and at the end of the day, they ensure results. Just like a personal trainer. If you're not reaching your outcome, you're going to fire that personal trainer. So I want employees to identify what type of personal trainer they're looking for, and I want to attract managers that operate in that way. And I want to be clear, a personal trainer is not going to be successful if they're making excuses on behalf of the employee. I know it was hard to get up today. I know you got kids, and you're not going to get the results. How bought in are you in getting from point A to point B? So the traits of managers who like managing: they enjoy people-centric challenges. They thrive on not just coaching employees, but pushing employees, resolving conflicts, fostering collaboration. They embrace accountability. They're adaptable and resilient. They seek continuous improvement. Their glass is half full by proactively getting in front of problems, and they're not afraid to be the asshole, because sometimes it takes that to get results. So when we're attracting our optimal manager, we want to do the following. We want to emphasize purpose-driven leadership opportunities. Highlight your mission, your vision, your values. Highlight all the things that are going to be a repellent related to that. You make less, you work harder, you're underappreciated, all those things. But You're changing the world one patient at a time. Showcase how managers directly shape the culture and patient satisfaction. Appeal to those motivated by meaningful work. Offer non-financial incentives. Provide flexible work arrangements, remote or hybrid options. Appeal to candidates who value that option over high pay. Include professional development opportunities like leadership training, conference sponsorships. Attract growth-oriented individuals from a performance-oriented growth mindset. Example, offer a clear path to increased responsibilities or influence within the practice, which can outweigh salary for passionate leaders. I want you to target career changers or mission-driven professionals. Recruit from industries where high pay comes with high stress, and pitch management in your practice as a chance to pivot to rewarding less stressful work. I believe we can make things less stressful if we know how to manage things. And so our managers are a byproduct of that. Create a compelling job description. Post not just the focus on what can be done, but the emotional connection to the change. But recognizing how hard the job is important. So we want to leverage referrals and internal talent. We want to showcase positive and supportive culture. We want to offer performance-based growth opportunities, all important. Did you know in 2023, a DDI study found that 50% of employees in private practices cited poor management as the top reason for leaving, and they costed practices an average of $10,000 per employee in turnover? So, as Peter Drucker says, management is doing things right. Leadership is doing the right things. Thank you for tuning into this quick tip episode of the Private Practice Survival Guide podcast. Remember, together we can thrive, not just survive. Thank you for tuning in to the Private Practice Survival Guide podcast. I'm incredibly grateful to each and every one of you. Exciting news. We're now available everywhere, from Spotify to Apple Podcasts to YouTube or anywhere you like to listen to your podcasts. So watch, listen, and reach out. If you love this episode, please drop a 5-star review. It truly means the world to me. Are you looking for more ways to elevate your practice? If so, now is your chance. Reach out, go to my website, or email me at brandon@wellnessworksmp.com. And remember, it's not just about surviving, it's about thriving.